Welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the line? I'm your host, Andy Klassen, joined by
Jabron.
The Parlay Pounder.
You got it. We're back.
Yes, we are. We are back. We are Nebraska's first and only sports betting show, and it's been a wild ride. The trade deadline has come and gone.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll recap a little bit of the Bud Crawford fight. We got to look back on that, and we'll probably get into that and some of our hits and misses, and of course we got another banger of a card for UFC coming up as well.
Every week.
Let's start with some of the big line movements we've seen after the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Those teams, they just wait till the very end there in Major League Baseball. Everyone jockeying for, leverage. You hear that word, leverage. Does the player have leverage? Does the team have leverage? No, the richer get richer. Yeah. The rich get richer? Is that what I'm trying to say?
Rich get richer.
Yeah. That's basically what happens. And we saw a lot of that again at this deadline.
Yeah.
Some big moves that actually moved your odds-on favorites to win the World Series in a big way. And I know you have a couple of them highlighted there, Jabron. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the couple that you really look at, Andy, is obviously the Houston Astros and the Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
That made big-time moves with the New York Mets, getting Verlander back to the Astros and then Scherzer onto the Texas Rangers. Before the deadline, the Houston Astros were at a plus 850 to win the World Series. Now there are all the way up to the third in line at a plus 550 to take down the whole thing. So you can see how much just one player can impact the entire, World Series standing, especially when the two favorites are coming out of the NL. Somebody has to take that AL spot,
right? And
obviously they're thinking it's the Houston Astros. Now, with the other side of that piece, it's the Texas Rangers that are in the AL West as well with the Houston Astros. They were all the way at a plus 1,100, Andy. They've moved all the way into, it looks like, fifth place.
At a plus 850?
At a plus 850, right behind, right in line with the Tampa Bay Rays.
And the Rays got leapfrogged by the Astros at that trade deadline. Their odds actually decreased. It went from a plus 700 to a plus 850 because they didn't really make any moves. They didn't have to make any moves.
Well, they don't have to make any moves, Andy, but I'll tell you one thing that's going to get a little wild here is that the Baltimore Orioles have took them over in the division standing. So the Baltimore Orioles are winning that division right now, and they're sitting all the way down at a plus 1,200 to take down the whole thing. A really fun one that I want to get into, Andy, as the playoff chase heats up a little bit. The AL East is going to come down to it. It's going to come down to one or two games, Andy. Yeah. And obviously both of these teams are going to be in the playoffs because they got three wild card teams right now.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter. But to win the AL East right now, Andy, the leading team is at plus money. The Baltimore Orioles are at plus 110 to take down the AL East, and they're winning the division. They're winning it by 1.5 games as we're making this broadcast.
And they're at plus money.
Wow. But if you're still on the Tampa Bay Rays, they're sitting there knocking on the door there. You can get them at a plus 130, Andy.
All the Rays do is win.
Which I think is a really good line for them at plus 130. But we have to talk about Baltimore Orioles. They acquired the pitcher Jack Flaherty from the St. Louis Cardinals.
Huge win, huge get.
Trying to firm up that starting rotation for them going into the postseason and trying to win this AL East to get better playoff seeding. So I really thought that was a huge move by the Baltimore Orioles.
I was reading an article earlier today about the winners, losers. That's the first thing we got to do, reaction videos on YouTube, right? And one of the big winners were Mets fans, and I'm thinking, really? You lose two aces and you win. But I guess doesn't that kind of speak to Scherzer and Verlander weren't getting it done? Too many people around the New York area were saying they were, the tank, they're out of gas, all that stuff. Obviously, the odds makers, looking at these movements, the two biggest movers post-trade deadline, the Rangers and the Astros, they don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't think so, Andy. And you can say they are quote unquote a winner, but I think they're one of the biggest losers of the season. Obviously, these guys were a projected top 3 World Series contender going into the season. Obviously, with the salary bloated roster, and I guess they did get a large group of prospects, acquired